Hello, hello, all of my crafty friends. Welcome to the Team Tiny Under the Sea Hop. This is a hop that has been sponsored by 7 Kids Crafts, and it is featuring the new release of the digital stamp Bubble Babies. I will tell you guys a lot more about this hop when we get started. Please make sure you check the description box for more information. All right, guys, so today what I decided to do for the Team Tiny Under the Sea Hop, which is a hashtag hop, just make sure you click the hashtag in the description box as well as in my title, and you will get all the creators. I've gone into Microsoft Word and I have used all of the digital images. Well, not all of them, it comes with packed, but I used a lot of them to create a scene for me, and I am going to print it out. And I just am showing you here how I was able to move some things to the front, bring some things to the back to kind of create masking, although I did not use a regular stamp. And so what I've done is I have some Appollo transparency film. This is thicker and it's for my HP printer, which is an inkjet, and it allows me to print on acetate. Now, this came out so awesome. I love it. Using this type of acetate, it dries quicker, which you don't always get when you're trying to print on acetate with an inkjet. So this is why I use this particular type of transparency. So what I'm going to do for you guys today is I am going to be working on some mineral paper. Now, this is not necessarily paper. It is more of rocks, is what I was told by my wonderful friend Catherine Kelly. So I wanted to give this a try with some of my liquid mediums. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a piece of plastic under it, and I'm going to bring in some of my Brutus Monroe Aqua pigments. I have been falling in love with these pigments. Now, these were some of their gold, silver, and pearl. They are like their shimmer and shine, but they have a lot of different ones. They have the creamy, they have the sparkle, and then they have the regular. So I'm going to try to show you these a little bit closer so you can kind of see what I'm speaking of. And they all have kind of a different consistency. You have that milky look with the creamy ones. You can see the sparkle and the sparkles. And then they have these metallics, which are so amazing. Make sure you're shaking these really, really well. So this is the sparkle versus the regular blue aqua pigments, and this is some of the other ones. I'm just trying to show you the differences that you see. Now, I've sprayed down my paper with water, and I'm just using my dropper. I'm using my dropper and I am just dropping pigment all over the paper. Now I'm using blues because I'm going for a water theme here. And you can tell when you're doing this, the thickness of the different pigments and things like that. Now let me give you a word of caution. This was my first time using the mineral paper. Don't make your watercolors swim. It will take forever for it to dry. I had an entire fiasco with that. So I wanted to take a minute while you guys watch me do this to tell you guys about the 7 Kids Craft store. Kelly over at 7 Kids Crafts has been so generous to sponsor these stamps for us to feature for you guys for her new digital stamps. But not only does she have digital stamps, she has been creating an array of clear stamps as well. Now, I'm going to link to her store as well as to her Facebook page for you guys to check it out, because not only does she sell her designs, but in her store she has other brands like Catherine Pooler, Ranger Inks, Stamping Bella, Tonic Studios, Prima Marketing, Doodlebug Designs, Mama Elephant, Hello Bluebird, Penny Black. You have so many different an array of brands that you're able to shop at her store. In addition to that, Kelly has been so amazing, and she is giving you guys a 20% off coupon code for you to use for the remainder, not the remainder of the month, till July 19th. So make sure you go to my description box, get your coupon code, and go over and show Kelly a little bit of love. I love this shop. I love the things that she has to offer. She has super fast shipping and free shipping over $60. Now remember, this is a hashtag hop, so in my title as well as in my description box, you're going to find the hashtag teeny tiny under the sea. Try to say that 3 times fast. I can't. Click on Team Tiny Under the Sea. You're going to find all of our amazing creators who have made so many different ideas for you guys to use with these new digital stamps. I don't know about you guys, but initially I was a little afraid of digital stamps, but I have started loving them. Now that I'm able to do all the things that I want to do, I can resize them how I want to. I can do masking without actually having to mask. I never have to worry about double stamp lines or things not coming out where I want them to. You know, it is super amazing. In addition to that, if you needed to mask, say you wanted to do some ink blending or something like that, you could also print out your images on your ink, on your masking paper. That way, you still can do your ink blending, you still can create your scenes, you can do whatever you want to do. So give digital stamps a try. If there's anything that you have questions about with digital stamps, I have another video that I will link that you guys can go and watch, which shows you a little bit about how to work with digital stamps. And if there is something that's in that video that you need to know but you did not see, drop me a comment below. I will be more than happy to create another video showing you guys whatever you need to know so that you can fall in love with digital stamps the way that I have fallen in love with digital stamps. So you guys can see that I have rambled through this entire process, but I was having fun. I was having an amazing time doing this watercolor background. But you can see I have truly created an ocean on my paper. Yeah. So I thought that since it was paper that didn't warp, that it would not warp. It won't warp, but it also will take more than 24 hours to dry. So I've also taken a piece of colored cardstock and created an image for the inside of my card. Now I took some of my pattern paper and I cut out a frame. Then I'm going to use the frame for the front of the card, but I'm going to use the inside of the frame for the inside of the card. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and I'm going to cut this at a diagonal. Now I'm not very particular about the diagonal. I just want one end to be at one end and the other end to be at the other end, and I want to slice it through. No real measurements here. I'm just doing what I'm doing. Now, one thing that I will do is I will drop the blade inside of the cut. I'm not going to start at the edge because I didn't want to break up my edges. And so you can see I have here a diagonal because I wanted to show off that beautiful pattern paper. Now that pattern paper is from a very old paper pack, so I will put it below, but I don't think we're going to be able to find it again. Like, this was probably 3 or 4 years old, and it probably was old when I purchased it. So it was something that I got from Michael's, and I'm just going to glue that down onto this base, or onto this mat. I guess I would call it my mat. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to set that aside for a second, and I'm going to work a little bit on my panel. Now you see that I've cut down my little image, my scene, from my acetate. Now I'm going to take my frame and I've put some 1/8 inch score tape around, and I've just pulled up one edge of that score tape. That helps me to line it up before I get committed, and then I can just pull away the remainder of the release tape once I know that I have everything lined up the way that I want it to be. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. We've got that all done, and the next thing that we're going to be wanting to do is work on some foam tape. Yep, we're working on foam tape because you know your girl is going to do a shaker. Yes, I love my shakers. I have doubled up my foam tape and I'm using my Tonic Studio scissors to cut a very thin strip. I usually use the diamonds as a guide for me, and I'm going to go all the way around. Now, because of one of the sequin mixes that I'm going to be using, I doubled it up. So this is a pretty thick front to a card. It's okay. It doesn't make the card weigh a lot more, and I usually use a padded envelope when I send these type of cards anyways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out 3 or 4 different sequin mixes. Now this one is called Succulent, and I believe this one is from Honeybee Stamps. And these have all the greens that I wanted. And then we have these blue and turquoise greeny bubbles. I don't know where I got those from. We have another mix that has like blues and kind of iridescent and white. And then we have these Trinity stamp Seaspray. Now these are very iridescent, translucent. They have the pearls, they have the shells. They are so beautiful. I'm trying to get a good look for you guys here so you guys can see what I see. If you can see those shells, and then we have those pearls in it. That was why I wanted to make it double thick, because those pearls were like little balls and they're a little bit thicker. But I figured with our sentiment, you're the pearl of the sea, it would only be fitting to have some pearls in the sea, right? Yeah. So I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool and go around the edges because I want those to be able to shake freely and not get stuck. So now I'm going to add in all of my sequins. I never add in as much as I want. I think that I'm overfilling it. And then once I get everything sealed, I'm like, man, I wanted more. So I'm going to have to start being a little more heavy-handed. I think I'm stingy with my sequins because I like the bling and I want to use the bling, but I also want to save the bling, right? Yeah, that's me. So I'm going to bring out a sentiment. I found a sentiment that I liked in one of my Maymay Made It stamp sets for the inside of my card. And it fit perfectly where I wanted it to fit so that I would still have a place that I could write something below that with the way that I have cut this cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's lined up, and I'm going to use my VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I am going to stamp this. I only had to stamp it one time. Why? Because VersaFine is amazing. And I think my stamp pad was really juicy. So one stamp and it is done. And it's just a kind of a general statement that says, I hope that your day is filled with joy and good things. I don't remember exactly what it says. I have it right here. Now I'm going to use some of my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, and I'm going to finish that off. Hope this day is filled with blessings, joy, and peace. That is what the inside says. And I also did some little dots around so I could get more sparkle, because you guys know I love the sparkle. I have a problem and I don't want to fix it. I love the sparkle. So I'm going to bring in my card base. Since we're going with this blue, turquoisey, aqua green feel, I just kept it moving. So I have done a blue Recollections 110 pound card base, and I am going to glue my mat. I'm going to glue my mat, I think that's what I want to say, on the inside of my card. Now, I'm doing this because I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for this paper to dry. But when it dries, oh my word. Now, you guys, I have tried to use a fixative on this. I have called Catherine. I've spritzed it with alcohol. Do not put as much water on this paper as I did. Now, it did not warp. It held true to what it said, but it took forever to dry. So I really love this right side and what we got with that. And so what I want to do is I want to create that ocean theme behind my mermaid and my seahorse and my treasure chest and my sea turtle and my seaweed. I just love these images. Like, I'm on a mermaid kick right now. So this came in quite handy. So you see, this is kind of thin. So I'm taking another piece of that 100 pound cardstock and I'm going to glue it on top of it, just because I just need it to be a little thicker. There's really no rhyme or reason behind it. It's going to go on the card base. You could have just glued it directly to the card base. This is just me and a personal preference, nothing that you are required to do. Now I am going to take another layer of that 1/8 inch score tape. I'm going to go all the way around that, and then I am going to be pulling that in to go over the top of my panel. Now this is the exact same size of the panel. It is 5x7. I did not do a mat. It is going to fit directly on the front of our card base, because I thought with the frame and with the watercolor and with the sequin, I thought we had a lot going on. So I didn't want to push the limits, but you know, sometimes I can, but this time I was being modest. So I am going to glue this onto the top of the card, and that is pretty much going to finish us off. Now, what I want you guys to do is to make sure you check the description box, get all the information, because I may have missed something, but I promise promise it will all be written down there. And then I want you guys to hop along. I want you guys to like, I want you guys to subscribe, I want you guys to leave a comment, and I want you guys to check out Kelly. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Kelly, for sponsoring this for us. I really loved working with these images. I really loved bringing this idea to you guys. And I will hope to see you guys very, very soon in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, and crafty day. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.